What's up, people? It's Y.C.D and Chris David. I'm in my recording studio right now, and just showing you what it looks around real quick before I start talking to you. I'm very proud of my work because I put a lot of effort into this, and it wasn't easy. I was building this through the pandemic, 2020, 2021, especially, and this is where all the great music from Y.C.D and Chris David comes from. I make all the music here. I do a lot of the mukbangs here. I do a lot of my speaking here, and this is where I'm starting from. And yeah, basically, this is just how do you say? This is where all the magic happens. Yeah, real talk. But I want to speak right now about music. Because I love music. That's after God Jehovah, that's my first love. And you know, I make hip hop music mainly, but I also like to mix genres up together because why not? You know, it's the 21st century. Let's be a little different and unique. Let's not always try to fit the mold or whatever, or be put in a box. And how like a lot of people like to do it sometimes. But all the music that I do make, it comes from my heart, just like my words and everything that I do, all the work that I do. Um, because like it's YCD music, it's Young Chris David music. So I'm always going to be me. I'm always going to be different and unique because that's the way God made me to be. But I also look at hip hop today because I do rap and I MC and I write music and I like hip hop. It's just I don't like the state of hip hop today the way it is. Because it's a lot of negativity. It really is. I mean, hip hop has always been, at least when it started and through the '90s, it has always been, in my opinion, um, people reporting about what goes on in the streets and the struggles of mainly the black community and also the brown community. But really, it doesn't have to these days be attached to any race because hip hop is universal. It's music is a universal language, and hip hop. Everybody listens to hip hop, no matter what the color of your skin is. Because it's the new rock and roll. It used to be in the '90s, '80s, and '90s. When I look back to it, through research or whatever, it used to be, that rock and roll was the main thing, because hip hop was still coming up, but rock and roll has been around for a lot longer, So, but now it's like, hip hop is youth music, it's the culture's music, it's basically, young people's music like us, and all around the world. If you look at Japan, if you look at London, Tokyo, wherever, hip hop is definitely integrated into their culture, especially the young people. So just like the United States. So I feel like MCs, rappers, poets, whatever you want to call us, however you want to label us, um, we are the new rock stars. But back to what I was saying about hip hop, I just don't like the state that it's in right now because it used to be back in the days, in the '90s when you had artists like Tupac and you know Bone Thugs or whoever. Yeah, their music had things about parties and girls and they spoke about cars and jewelry and there was also beef and everything. Hip hop beef has always been real, but at the same time, they also had messages of hope, or not hope, but messages of truth in their music about what was really going on in the everyday struggle. And it was messages that uplifted people at times. Like Tupac had a lot of songs, even though he has songs that were like him and Biggie were beefing at the time. East Coast West Coast beef and all that. But if you go back and listen to his music, he had a lot of uplifting songs like Brenda's Got a Baby, Keep Your Head Up. So But we lost that. We've lost that today in hip hop. I don't see that anywhere in today's music. Nobody is speaking about issues that are really going on today and need to be addressed, like the way Pac was back then, or Bone Thugs, or you name it. Even Eminem to a certain extent. But nowadays it's just like you know, I consider myself in the millennial generation, but and so J Cole, like artists like that, and they still speak sometimes about the real struggle, and like Love Yours, like a song like that, it's a beautiful song. And he talks about just appreciating what you have and loving what you have, and not always comparing yourself to what other people have, because that's the way of not being happy, because someone's always going to have more than you, or somebody's always going to have less than you. So you just got to appreciate what you have, like the song says, like the way J Cole said it, "Love Yours," because that's the truth. We could only have what we have, and we should not ever want what other people have, because we don't know, what they did to get it, or how hard they worked, or if they inherited it. We don't know. There's many different circumstances and situations in life, but we have to appreciate what we have. But back to the message, what I was speaking about hip hop right now, in the state of hip hop. You know, um, like, okay, so I think like millennials, like artists like J Cole, who's already in his 30s, um, I feel like these type of artists, and there's other millennials. I can't name them right now, but I'm sure there are a few more that speak about the struggle and speak about real life issues and things that need to be addressed in our community and things like that. Um, but as far as Gen Z is concerned, I don't see, that's a generation like in their late teens to early 20s right now. I do not see any of them speaking anything positive in their music. It's all about like every time I look at a rapper from Gen Z, and not to bash them Gen Z, because they're the youth, and we're the youth too. We're the future, and I want to see them do better. But every time I look at a music video from an artist or a rapper from Gen Z, they're always holding up big machine guns. They got women twerking in their videos. They're talking about killing people. They're talking about some real awful stuff. And while hip hop also talked about these things, the frustrations of the youth, back in the '90s. Like I said, with Pac, at least you had songs that like "Me Against the World," "Keep Your Head Up," "Brenda's Got a Baby," "Shed So Many Tears," and he made those songs when he was like 22, 23, 24, because unfortunately he passed away at age 25. So but like right now, as far as the Gen Z is concerned, it's like everything's so negative and so toxic. Nobody's speaking about anything like truthful anymore, anything that has to do with the heart, with the real raw emotion. And it's like people like that are in that generation, and I can't just speak for them. It's the millennials as well. My generation as well. It's like they're afraid to be vulnerable. Because they're afraid to be, I guess, or not, maybe they're not afraid, but they're so egotistical and materialistic that they don't want to seem vulnerable, because it's a sign of weakness, and it's hard for especially leaders to be vulnerable, because they take advantage. They try to, at least, but I'm stronger than they know. You know what I mean? Um, However, music is about speaking your truth, speaking from your heart, and being vulnerable at times, like Pac was. And I reference Tupac because he's the most political driven, um, vulnerable rapper, artist, poet, whatever you want to call it, in my opinion, that I think ever existed. He really wore his heart on his sleeve, and he spoke about some hard truths. Some things that he spoke about was harsh, but it was really going on, and it needed to be addressed. And I'm waiting for artists from Gen Z. you know, to come out and speak about these type of things. You know, they're hitting 22, 23 now, years old, years young, whatever. And you know, it's like I'm not seeing any of them really speak about anything truthful. You know, I mean, like, anything from the heart, should I say? It's all about just killing people, having sex. They always, like even millennials are like this sometimes too. The generation that's in their mid 20s to mid 30s. Um, it's always about, like, I see them hold a stack of money to their ear, like they're talking on the phone, and just, like jewelry, excessive jewelry. No wrong with that. If you want to, sport, the fruits of your labor, and you want to show it off a bit, that's cool. But I feel like you should have, as well, more songs, because you've been given a platform. You've been given a voice, and you're heard by millions of people, and you should speak about some of the things that affect millions of people. You know, and I try to do that with my music. Speak about things that affect the youth, because it needs to be addressed. There's a lot of problems right now in the world. I mean, we got global warming, we got greed. People are greedy. Politics are messed up. I'm not even into any type of politicians, any type of party affiliated with them or anything, because they're all for their own agenda. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has their own agenda. There's poverty still. There's homeless people out on the streets. You know, you name it. There's abuse in relationships. There's um, men, being feminized, women being more masculine these days. Everything's getting reversed. Everything's getting, like, twisted. In these last days of the world, I feel like we're in the last days of the last days, and I keep saying that because the way that humanity's going right now, I don't see how it's going to prevail if it keeps going in this direction. Like, if it's bad right now in the 21st century, in the year 2023 now, how do you think it's going to be in the 22nd century? I mean, forget that. How do you think it's going to be in the mid 21st century to the late 21st century? I mean, they're going to have it bad, bro, because it's like, things are not getting better. People are not wanting to do the right thing. People are all about, themselves, loving themselves only, money, greed, sex. You know, it's like, man, this stuff is really pointless. It doesn't always matter. Um, I don't care how many females you slept with, or I don't care how much money you have if you're not helping out, the less fortunate. You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of, rappers and artists flaunting tons of money, but I can't judge them. But do they ever help out people less fortunate, or they're just spending on another diamond chain? You know, so it's like, you know, I feel like we've been given a voice and a platform, and we have to use it wisely. And because God's going to give us an account for how we use our talents, and we have to give an account, should I say, for how we use our talents and our gifts to God someday, on Judgment Day, I believe. And I know not everybody thinks like me. I know it's different, but hey, man, like, we need this right. We need this right now. Like, so let me be the one to start the change. Go listen to my music, Y.C.D, Young Chris Davis music, because I'm speaking about some real truth. I'm harmonizing. It comes from my heart. I got love in my heart. My heart's still connected to my brain, thank God, and I'm speaking truth. And I'm speaking spirituality things with Jesus Christ on it. And trying to bring people to awareness of what's going on and how the enemy is trying to deceive you. And trying to also put wisdom in my music from my experiences and from God's wisdom and what I've learned, and put that game in the music. Like, that's what's lacking these days. It's like a lot of artists from Gen Z, and some as well from millennials. They don't have that game anymore in the music. It's just about, like, you know another twerk song or another song talking about shooting and killing people. And we've been losing a lot of rappers lately, man. Like, you know, hopefully, God willing, rest in peace, Takeoff. King Von, Dolph, Young Dolph just passed away last year. Even DMX at 50 in 2021 passed away. I was really like distraught about that because DMX was another one. I forgot to mention DMX, of course. He was another artist that really spoke the truth, and man, I miss him, man, because it's like I miss him in hip hop because man, he used to say prayers, before every show and after every show, and I don't see any type of artist doing that anymore. He was rare, he was one of a kind, and I wish we had more artists like that because DMX was real, bro, and DMX spoke about the struggle, like a lot of his songs, like I'm slipping, I'm falling, slipping, he just had like they don't know who we are, all those songs, man. Like those songs were like he hardly ever like wore flashy jewelry. I mean, he had the money, he could afford it back then. He could have done it, but he was always speaking to his people the truth, and through about the struggle and everything. But like I said, today I'm just not seeing that often, and I believe a lot of you people out there can agree with me as well, because you know rappers today, poets, because that's what we are. We're poets. We do poetry. We're writing poetry to a beat, and we're melodic with it. You want to call it a rapper, you want to call it MC, but we're poets with a beat. You know what I mean? So, but I just don't see that anymore today, where people are talking about the struggle, people are talking about issues of the heart. What's going on in our community. How we need to better ourselves, and given the game and the music and all that. None of that. It seems like everybody's just out for themselves and out to shine, or they're jealous, they're envious, so they're warring against each other. It's real toxic. Like when I hear to a lot of these new artists, no cap though, but they all sound the same. You know what I mean? Real talk. It's like I'm waiting for someone unique like me, and someone different that's an up and coming artist like myself, Y.C.D, young Chris David, and it's like nobody out there is sounding different. It's like they're just in it to just make the money, not for the music, not for the love of the music. It's just about like, they're chasing the money, chasing the bag, and it's like that's cool. You got to make money. I understand that we all got to make money in this world, but you've been given a voice to speak to millions. Millions of people listen to you. Like, man, don't send them to hell, bro. Like talking about things that are destructive. You know, you know, making women and men more promiscuous when, man, sexually transmitted diseases are ramping up in this generation, and they've been ramping up for a long time now. And we need to start, having safe sex. You know what I mean? And talking about that instead of, like, I just slept with, 8 new hoes this week and I didn't even use a condom. Like, bro, like you gonna keep doing that, sooner or later you're gonna run into some trouble. You know what I mean? Because there's people out there that are not caring. I mean, we could speak about all these other issues like abortion, but that's controversial. Of course, it's a woman's body, but a lot of women out here today are not doing it because of reasons that they have been done wrong or whatever, or they're financially struggling. They're just going to the club having one night stands, and then they don't want to deal with the responsibility, so they go, have an abortion. But that's another topic for another day. I'm not gonna be here to judge those women. That's not my job, really. That's God's job. I'm just gonna speak about what I see today in the youth, and I just see the youth, sometimes being real destructive. Our youth is like, we gotta do better. We gotta do better, people. And I want to be the leader of the youth, and try to speak truth into the youth and wisdom, and help us out, because, we trying, and and I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and I want to, you know, just speak truth in my music. I just need to, market better and promote myself better, and that costs money. That takes money sometimes, and you know, um, it takes connections or whatever. But right now, I don't have that too much. I'm just being honest and real with you. But I have great music from my heart. I mean, I got money, but I haven't blown up like an artist yet, like one of these artists that have a whole bunch of millions of dollars yet. Maybe one day I will, and I'll do my best to help as many people as I can with that. But also while also living a financially free lifestyle, because financial freedom is key. You gotta try to get that in this life today. And help others when you do get it, because if you do get it, if you're one of the lucky few to get it, if you have financial education, which they do not teach in the schools, research it. You could research it yourself though on YouTube. There's a lot of people talking about financial education. Like a lot of mentors that I have. Robert Kiyosaki. I like to read the book Think Rich, Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I like to read these kind of books because it really informs me on how to be financially free as a young man in the 21st century. And we have all the information today, online. So you could research it yourself and you could find it if you really want to be financially free, and you could apply that information and that wisdom that you have learned to your life, and with consistency and perseverance, you might be financially free one day, and your family as well. And that's the key. Is to have money to help yourself, your family, and people who are less fortunate in the world, your community. If you can, your church as well, the real ones at least. And because money could be used as a good, excuse my language, money could be used as a good tool. If you have the right mindset for it. You know. So you know, it's just the way it is, man. Today, I know I'm speaking a lot, but I have a lot to say today, and you know, I just wish we would have more artists that would speak the truth. That are up and coming. You know, real talk. Y.C.D music coming soon. More music on the way for me in my recording studio. I'm doing it all by myself here. I don't got no co-sign or anything. I'm an independent artist, unsigned artist, and I still sold. Thank God, Jehovah. I give him the glory for it. Um, I just started releasing music last year, and I got 6 million streams across, all, all stores, and well, whatever, whichever stores I sold 6 million streams in. I think it might have been iHeartRadio. I'm not sure yet because I recently just sold 6 million streams in July of 2022, and I haven't got the royalties for it yet, but they're on the way. So I'm waiting on that so I can start investing in myself more and marketing my music better and promoting more in 2023. So look out for me because here I come, God willing. I'm coming with the best of the best, and you're gonna hear my best music. I also sing as well, and I'm gonna have songs that I sing. I'm gonna have songs where I rap. I'm gonna have songs where I mix it up and just do something different because I feel like we need something different these days, And I'm not trying to be different. It's just who I am. It's who I am. I'm genuine. I am sincere. So if that's what you're looking for today, you can find my music, Y.C.D. Young Christopher David, on all platforms. And thank you for your support. So I'm starting everything from scratch, everything from the bottom, from zero. I'm building it like a contractor up to millions and millions. I'm building it to something real big, I believe, and I want you to follow me on this journey of an artist that I am. So hopefully I'll be one of the new artists that starts the new wave in hip hop, especially where we bring back that realness, that realness from the heart right here. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, and I look at it like I also seen like uh, you know millennial millennials are starting to become parents now. Like we're starting to become parents now. to like I guess Gen Z, and this is the first generation that where it's kind of funny where the kids want to be like the parents still. You know what I mean? Because especially in hip hop with the culture of hip hop and everything, you know, we're into the things that they like, because that's how we grew up, listening to hip hop music. We like the cars, we like the jewelry. They play Fortnite, we play Fortnite. You know, they want the PS5, we got the PS5. Everybody want to play these video games, and it wasn't like that in the past. Like back in the days, like Gen Xers did not want to be like the baby boomers. You know what I mean? They were like not trying to be like their parents, but now it's like this is the first generation where you know a millennial dad might have the same Jordans as his son. You know what I mean? Or he listening to the same music as his son, or he plays video games just like his son. He might be in his 30s and his son's a teenager, a kid, or whatever, and they like the same type of stuff because that this is how we grew up. A lot of us did, and it hasn't changed really much. In the last 20 years, people, the youth, we still like what we like, and the next generation, the younger people, the youngest generation right now in the world, Gen Z, and then it's millennials. They like the stuff we like too. The only thing that's advancing it more is the technology. Like we went from like iPhone 7, iPhone 8 to now it's like iPhone 14. So the first iPhone we probably bought was like an iPhone set or iPhone 6 or whatever, and the first iPhone that these kids are getting are the iPhone 13, iPhone 14. So it's kind of funny, how you know how it's going. How you know everybody want to be like us. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this talk real quick, and you know, I hope y'all have a great day. Not hope. I don't like to hope too much because you know that's what trumps. I have faith and I pray. I pray that y'all have a great day, and that God blesses you, and you keep being your best in life. The best that you can be, because that's what I'm striving for. Greatness. So never settle for less. Always go for more. Always strive for greatness, and be the best you can be. And those are my words for right now. Y.C.D. Young Chris David, signing out for now. God bless you, people. I'll talk to you later.